Today's information space resembles a massive bioreactor where strange, sometimes grotesque stories multiply at incredible speed. A single spark is enough for social networks to erupt with viruses about fictitious government spending, fantastical schemes, or sensational exposés. Absurdity no longer surprises, it's become routine. Polarized emotions blur the line between reality and constructed myths. In this storm, even level-headed people struggle to stay afloat, while those inclined to detect hidden plots become especially vulnerable to the next wave of narrative infections. For years, the science of dismantling false beliefs has struggled to keep up with this tsunami effect, and direct attempts at persuasion often produce the opposite of what they intend. The traditional approach, debating, arguing, presenting facts, more and more resembles trying to stop an avalanche with bare hands. Researchers note that direct refutations can strengthen a person's original belief. Debates often feel like attacks rather than help. Logical arguments drown in emotional noise. The boomerang effect reinforces the very ideas you're trying to correct. In short, fighting already rooted narratives is like treating a virus that has long since mutated. Interestingly, where people often turn conversations into emotional duels, algorithms behave differently. Recent studies show that chat models like GPT-4 can create a sense of neutrality. They have no hidden motives, no political stakes, no personal irritation. During multi-round conversations, participants genuinely lowered their trust in conspiratorial claims. This may be the effect of a cold mind. AI doesn't get angry, doesn't argue, doesn't judge. It analyzes and compares, operating outside the emotional battlefield. But not everyone is ready to debate with a machine. And this is precisely where a far more powerful, deeply preventive method steps forward. The attitudinal inoculation method, created by psychologist William McGuire, is not about debate, refutation, or forcing someone to change their mind. It is prevention, operating on the same principles as biological vaccination. How does a biological vaccine work? The body receives a weakened or harmless fragment of a virus. The immune system learns to identify it. It builds antibodies ready to react to a real threat later. How does attitudinal inoculation work? The same way, except that instead of the body, it protects your mental immune system. A person is warned in advance about the types of misinformation they may encounter. They are shown mild, simplified versions of manipulative claims, the cognitive equivalent of a weakened virus. These claims are immediately explained and debunked, with hidden logical traps pointed out. The person practices recognizing narrative attacks before they appear. Their mind forms mental antibodies, automatic cognitive resistance mechanisms. Why is this so powerful? Because the brain, like the immune system, prefers to prepare ahead of time. When a real misinformation attack appears, it no longer feels new. It looks familiar, predictable, even boring. You see the structure of manipulation, not its packaging. And this deprives disinformation of its primary weapon, surprise. A strong attitudinal inoculation makes a person resistant. They don't get pulled into heated arguments, don't take emotional bait, and recognize manipulative patterns before even evaluating content. This isn't a fight for belief, it's protection of your autonomy. Researchers have also been studying other ways attention can be influenced. It turns out that fast, rhythmic music and videos can suppress the brain's ability to generate counterarguments. Dynamic storytelling, vivid characters, and emotional mini-plots can temporarily reduce critical thinking. Short TikTok-style formats act as cognitive accelerators, making reactions outpace analysis. These tools are equally available to both educators and creators of toxic narratives. But attitudinal inoculation remains unique. It does not manipulate attention. It strengthens mental resilience. Critical thinking is invaluable. It helps distinguish evidence from insinuation, arguments from emotions. But it has its limitations. It works well against new or shallow myths, but far less effectively against deeply embedded conspiracy beliefs. These entrenched worldviews often intertwine with a person's identity so tightly that logic feels like an attack on their very self. Attitudinal inoculation is gentler. It doesn't dismantle old constructs, it strengthens new ones. The goal is not to win a debate, not to impose a worldview, not even to change someone's mind right now. The real goal is to build immunity, a capacity that lets you decide for yourself what deserves trust and what doesn't. Attitudinal inoculation makes a person autonomous, resilient, and immune to future manipulative attacks. It doesn't give you a list of correct answers. It gives you the ability to detect hidden moves before they reach the decision-making center of your mind. And in a world where informational viruses evolve daily, that ability is the strongest protection of all. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. First, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments, especially about experiences you've had with misinformation online or conversations that help you see a claim more clearly. New videos are on the way, focusing on how to evaluate sources, how to spot misleading narratives, and practical steps to talk about tricky topics with friends and family. So stay tuned.